Welcome to Wisdom Trek with Gramps. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, and we are on day 2618 of our trek. The purpose of Wisdom Trek is to create a legacy of wisdom, to seek out discernment and insights, and to boldly grow as few have chosen to grow before. In today's Wisdom Nugget, we continue our journey through Psalms, the ancient prayers, the songs that reveal deep insights about life, faith, and our relationship with God. Today we arrive at Psalm 63. It's a passionate and vivid psalm of longing, trust, and joyful praise. King David wrote this psalm during a profoundly difficult period, hidden in the Judean wilderness, fleeing from either King Saul or perhaps later from his own son Absalom. Yet in these harsh conditions, David's heart reveals a passionate hunger, not merely for the rescue and relief, but also for something far greater, an intimate and personal encounter with the living God. So let's embark on our journey today of Psalm 63, verses 1 through 11 from the New Living Translation. Opening our hearts and mind to discover the wisdom within these verses. O God, you are my God. I earnestly search for you. My soul thirsts for you. My whole body longs for you, in a parched and weary land where there is no water. I have seen your sanctuary and gazed upon your power and glory. Your unfailing love is better than life itself. How I praise you! I will praise you as long as I live, lifting up my hands to you in prayer. You satisfy me more than the richest feast. I will praise you with song of joy. I lie awake thinking about you, meditating on you through the night. Because you are my helper, I sing for joy in the shadow of your wings. I cling to you. Your strong right hand holds me securely. But those plotting to destroy me will continue to come to ruin. They will go down into the depths of the earth. They will die by the sword and become the food for jackals. But the king will rejoice in God. All who swear to tell the truth will praise him, while liars will be silenced. David opened Psalm 63 by vividly expressing his deepest spiritual longing in verse 1. O God, you are my God. I earnestly search for you. My soul thirsts for you. My whole body longs for you in this parched and weary land where there is no water. I have seen you in the sanctuary and gazed upon your power and glory. David begins with a deeply personal address. O God, you are my God. This isn't merely a theological acknowledgement, it is a passionate personal declaration of relationship. In the Hebrew culture, the phrase indicates covenant intimacy and a deeply personal connection with God himself. David's physical surrounding in the Judean wilderness, harsh, dry, barren, mirrors his spiritual thirst. He compares an inner longing for God to the physical thirst in a parched desert. Ancient Israelites understood this thirst profoundly. Water was scarce, precious, and life-giving. David feels the same intense craving for God's presence. Yet David also remembers vividly the past worship experiences. He recalls being in God's sanctuary, where he experienced God's powerful presence firsthand. These memories fuel his longing. Like a traveler remembering cool water tasted in the past, intensifies his thirst. Think of the weary traveler in a scorched heat, desperately longing for water. When he finally finds that cool, fresh water, its taste, coolness, and life-giving refreshments imprint in him deeply. David similarly recalls vividly God's powerful presence, intensifying his spiritual longing. David's deep longing naturally leads to heartfelt praise in verses 3 through 5. Your unfailing love is better than life itself. How I will praise you! I will praise you as long as I live, lifting up my hands to you in prayer. You satisfy me more than the richest feast. I will praise you with songs of joy. David declares his unfailing love, once again, the Hebrew word chesed, steadfast, loyal, and covenant love. It is more valuable than life itself. For David, relationships with God surpasses all other pursuits, pleasures, or even life itself. This reveals his priorities clearly. God's love surpasses all earthly treasures and comforts. In ancient Israel, lifting hands symbolizing sincere worship, prayer, and surrender. David commits to lifelong praise, not temporary, but continually and joyfully regardless of the circumstances. He experiences God's love as deeply satisfying, even better than the most abundant physical feast. Consider being invited to an extravagant, abundant banquet with tables overflowing with the rich delicacies. Yet after the feast, hunger inevitably returns. David contrasts temporary earthly satisfaction with a deep, permanent satisfaction that he finds only in God's love. David continues sharing his deeply personal nighttime reflections in verses 6 through 8. I lie awake thinking of you, meditating on you through the night. Because you are my helper, I will sing for joy in the shadow of your wings. I will cling to you. Your strong right hand holds me securely. Sleepless nights in the desert wilderness could be distressful and fearful, yet David uses these wakeful hours to meditate deeply on God's presence, His promises, and His character. Ancient Israelites valued meditation, contemplating carefully on God's truth, allowing them to shape their heart and mind. David beautifully describes the feeling of being protected and secure in the shadow of your wings, portraying God's tender, protective presence like a nurturing mother bird sheltering her young. David vividly feels God's closeness, comfort, and security. His statement, "I will cling to you," indicates an intentional trust and dependence, holding tightly to God. Yet even more significant, God's strong right hand actively holds David securely. The right hand in Hebrew symbolism represents strength, authority, and protection. David's security comes not from his grip on God, but God's faithful grip on him. Think of a small child carried securely by his parents' arm during a stormy night. The child holds tightly, but their security comes primarily from the parents' firm hold. Similarly, David finds deep comfort in knowing God securely holds him. Now, David confidently anticipates God's ultimate justice in verses 9 through 11. "But those plotting to destroy me will come to ruin. They will go down into the depths of the earth. They will die by the swords and become food for jackals. But the king will rejoice in God. All who swear to tell the truth will praise him, while all liars will be silenced." David, despite being pursued unjustly, knows clearly that God will ultimately bring justice. He trusts God completely to handle his enemies righteously. This confidence allows David's freedom and personal revenge. He vividly describes enemies' ultimate downfall and defeat, becoming prey for jackals, a sign of dishonor and abandonment in the ancient culture. Yet David concludes positively, confidently, and rejoicing in God, fully assured that God's truth prevails. Truth-tellers, those faithful to God, ultimately praise him joyfully, while liars and deceivers will be silenced. David knows righteousness ultimately triumphs. Picture a courtroom scene. Justice prevails, the innocent are vindicated, truth-tellers celebrate victory, and deceivers stand silent in defeat. David's trust in God's perfect justice reflects this confident assurance clearly. Psalm 63 profoundly reveals David's deepest longings, thirsting passionately for God, valuing God's unfailing love above all else, and finding security in God's powerful presence, and then confidently trusting God's ultimate justice. Today, let's ask ourselves, what do we long for deeply? Is it temporary pleasures, passing comforts, or the intimacy of living with God himself? Like David, let's passionately pursue God, finding true fulfillment and lasting security only in his steadfast love. Thanks for joining me today on our Wisdom Trek. Until we meet again, may you thirst deeply for God's presence, and may his wisdom guide each of your steps through life's journey. And if you found this podcast insightful, please subscribe and leave us a review. Then encourage your friends and family to join us and come along with us tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, creating a legacy. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, and most importantly, I am your friend, as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. As we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward. Enjoy your journey and create a great day every day. See you next time for more daily wisdom.